What's up everybody, I'm Jesse Showalter and today we're going to talk about the 5 things that I think are hurting the creative industry. Today feels like an amazing time to be a creative. Whether you do web design or print design or digital design or product design or environmental design or whatever, there's been an increase in the need for creative people to fill certain creative roles. But what feels like has happened is as the creative industry has increased, there's also been a decrease in the value or the way that people value designers. It just seems like everybody knows somebody that's a designer, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. Photography is a really good example or case study of what we're talking about right now. 10, 15, 20 years ago, if you want a professional photography to be done, it was quite expensive. You had to go meet the photographer at their studio most likely, and then that photographer probably printed and framed your photos for you. But nowadays, with the rise of Instagram and devices with really good cameras and good cameras like the ones that I'm using, everybody feels like they're a photographer, and so therefore the value of photographers has seen to decrease, although that's not true. You and me know as creatives that it is a skill, it is an art form to understand composition and light and not just hold an expensive camera and press click. You can have a really expensive camera and press click and not have a beautiful photo. And so you and me understand that, but the world at large may not understand that. Similarly, there's been enough exposure to free design tools and different apps and creative platforms. Even college kids, for the most part, know how to use something even as complex as Photoshop or other design tools. And so therefore, there's been a recession in the value on what people believe the value of designers to be. Today, I want to lay out 5 things that I think are really hurting that value and are helping to create that recession. Number 1, Fivrrr and sites like it. The only thing worse than a good designer having trouble finding good work or good clients is having good designers eat each other alive at the lowest possible price. And sites just like it are starting to really promote this dog eat dog kind of world where template driven, pre-packaged design that happens really fast and the quality is not there. They're driving that ball forward, and it's really hurting the creative industry as a whole, because if you can get a logo made for $5, why would you pay this professional designer $1,000 or $2,000 for their brand package? We've all done it, we've checked those sites out, but my encouragement to you is to stay away from those. Just do really good work and find word to mouth. There's a lot of good ways to hustle and market yourself online in your local area to make a name for yourself. The number 2 thing that's hurting the creative industry is dinosaurs. Roar. Obviously, I don't mean that velociraptors and Tyrannosaurus rexes are hurting the creative industry, but what is hurting the creative industry in 2017 is the creative industry from 1995. Design has changed. Print is starting to take a lot of its cues from web. Responsive design and mobile design is just a must. Typography and everything has changed. It has to adapt to 2017. There are a certain breed of people that would like to insist that the way that they learned, whether that be in school or while they were a creative director in whatever position in whatever year, that is the way that you should do things. That's not the way you should do things. Good design principles is the foundation. That will never change. But how design interacts and is received, that will change. And so we need to make sure that we're staying current and fresh and pushing the design ball forward. That's creativity. Number 3, social media. Now, don't get me wrong, I love social media. I think it's an awesome tool that can help bring communities and groups and interests together. But the problem is when people stop creating with their hearts and designing with their hearts and they start creating with their eyes. Let me define that. See, social media has some nasty words involved with it. The idea of being liked or followed or subscribed to. Even right now while I'm making this video, I'm hoping that a lot of you will subscribe to this channel. The bottom line is when you start making things to fit in with other people, you're not actually making things, you're just following trends. Stop following trends and stop focusing on what other people are doing. Let's start focusing on what we should be doing. Let's start focusing on making awesome stuff. Number 4, only looking for inspiration in your medium. Here's the truth, a copy of 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 a trend that's a copy of another trend, all within the same medium, are all gonna end up looking the same. We need to start bursting out and looking into other interesting forms of design. If you're a web designer, start looking at the way that architecture uses white space. If you're a graphic designer, start looking at the way that product design is using typography and is using interaction. Start thinking about how you can implement those things into your medium. So no matter what kind of design you do, start looking elsewhere for some inspiration and let it stir up your heart to make exciting things again. Number 5, lack of rest. We live in a really, really busy world, and this is a really, really busy time to be a designer. And it's important that you understand that you need to rest. You need to slow down at times, because if you don't slow down, you're gonna burn out. So I don't care what people are telling you, you need to do more, more, more. I agree, you need to hustle and you need to get things done and you need to accomplish goals, but you also need to take care of yourself and you also need to rest. Ain't nothing worse than a bunch of raggedy, tired designers trying to design stuff when they have no capacity, no energy, no imagination, no creativity, because they haven't rested enough. That's where we get our creativity, is from rest. So those are the 5 things I think are hurting the creative industry right now as a whole. What do you think is hurting the creative industry? What do you think is hurting your creativity right now? What's distracting you? What's getting in your way? Leave them down in the comments and let's start a discussion about it and see how we can solve those problems. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the little bell icon so you know when other videos like this come out. I hope you guys are doing amazing work, and I hope you're really, really trying to stay healthy as you make amazing stuff. Have a great week. Talk to you guys soon.